Hey guys, welcome to Staying Strong with Ashley. It's been kind of a busy couple weeks. I got sick with a little chest cold thing, um, and then just busy with life. But I just few people have reached out recently, and I just kind of want to share where I'm at now. If you haven't already seen my video from 2015 in regards to laying out every single step of what happened with the kids, feel free to go check it out. It's on a page called Don't Talk About the Baby. If you search my name of Ashley's Multiple Loss Story on YouTube, you'll definitely see it there. That was a very emotional time for me. I hadn't at all talked about the kids all the way through ever. Um, that was the first time I had sat down and said every single thing that happened. And I think it's important for us to sometimes do that, to whether it's with a friend or whether it's with yourself or whatever, like just sitting down and talking about every single thing that happened, um, especially when it comes to child loss. We don't sit and talk about it. People get nervous, people get scared, uncomfortable, but it's really healing for us to sit down and discuss everything that's happened. I've also gone through recently grief recovery and just learned some great steps in that too. Throughout this channel and throughout the year, I'll definitely explain a little bit more of what that looks like. But today I just want to discuss the video from 2015 until now. That video in 2015 was the first time I had ever done any sort of walk or anything like that. That was also the first time that I had connected with anyone who had gone through any sort of real loss like that. I had been to like support groups, but I hadn't been such a big thing. And it was actually an event that was held on by the Star Legacy Foundation, I'm sorry. And that was a walk that we did. And every year they do a walk, and I want you to understand that Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep and the Star Legacy Foundation do walks throughout the country to honor our children, to raise awareness of things that are happening, and to make sure we're not alone. In 2015, that was the first time I had done anything like that. That was the first time someone came up to me and asked me about my story and wanted to actually hear it. And that was the first time that I had told from start to finish the whole story. It was a long one. It's about 20-25 minutes. And it's because I have multiple losses, honestly. I have 3 children within 9 months apart that passed away. So there was a lot there. A lot of experiences that I've learned throughout the way, and a lot of things that I understood now. One of the things I definitely know now is when you know someone who's gone through a loss of a child, whether it's stillbirth, miscarriage, or any other way, we want to know about it, right? We don't want to just hear the like small highlights. We actually want to know more. And it's scary because whether we've talked about it before to someone else or whether we're sure, we still want to know what happened. We want to know how we can best help you. We want to know how to make sure that that you're we're with you during the healing process. And that's it's a hard thing when you feel like you're alone and can't explain it to people. I want to thank everyone that's reached out to me and told me their story. I want to thank them because that warms my heart. It warms my heart for you to sit there and tell me what happened, because I know it's healing. Because I know, as someone who's gone through it, that it feels like a weight has lifted off. That person's not judging you. That person's not trying to fix you. They just want to know what happened, and they want to know if there's anything they can do or if there's something the doctors can do differently to help you next time. I have had people come up to me and say that they heard my story, that the doctor should have done a cerclage in the beginning and checked it, and that's what they would have done. Ultimately, I don't know. That's not what happened, but it is something that in the future, it's something that I will be extra aware of. Um, had I told someone more during the process of what happened with the kids, I think that I would have understood by the time I got to Logan, which is the third one, to tell the doctors to be aware of those situations, and to check more information on it. But overall, I think it's great to know that now. As most of you know, or if you don't, I'm now divorced. So what happened, throughout the time of me having the kids in 2011 until 2012, 2013, was a big strain. And I have a video from my ex-husband on my channel that discusses the man side of things. And so if you're a spouse of someone or know of someone, feel free to go check that out, because it is something helpful. It's something I learned that I could have done differently, and learned on just how to be a better comforter during those times. I think it's also helpful for us to not sit and understand our emotions. I know for me, I would sit there and feel like eating or watching TV or reading a good book or all these things of like short-term relief. If I just did this, if I just exercised, if I just did, all these things, I wouldn't think about it. And that's not helpful. That's not helpful at all. I've learned that I need to think about my emotions. When the time comes when I am emotional and I am upset, I need to sit down and understand it and take time to feel. Because the more that I feel, the more that I am able to understand all the emotions happening, the better I feel later on. The more I'm healed, the more that I don't have all this anger and sadness and anxiety that's going on, and it doesn't last for days. Instead, it lasts for maybe a day or two, and then I feel better, and I go out there into the world of whatever my life is at that time. Another thing that I've learned is to talk with people who I trust. Talk with my family that I really trust in explaining my emotions, or some friends, or even finding a good therapist. All these things are things that we can do to make sure we heal even more. It's now been about a little under 5 years since I've done the video, and now we've come back. Since then, I haven't lived in Minnesota anymore. I now live in Texas. But I've also learned that there are more people who do want to connect, who want to not feel alone, and who need help. If you are anyone in the position of child loss, or know of someone who's there, know that you're not alone. There are not just many groups, but there are people like me who want to just help. And if I've said the wrong thing to you, if I've been insensitive, please let me know. That is not my intent at all. For whatever reason, maybe I wasn't thinking clearly when I've said something. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I've ever been insensitive to your needs at the time that anyone has reached out to me. But I am here for you, in whatever that means. Please make sure that that you just try to feel all the feelings you're feeling. And if you don't even know, just take the time to whatever that large ball that's in your chest, that's just like making you anxious or making you hyperventilate or angry or whatever it is, feel all of those feelings. Don't stuff them even more. Don't just go and be like, okay, if I don't deal with it, it's fine. The more we don't deal with them, the more our minds and our bodies are going to just feel weighted down. And I want us to just feel, it's not even better. I want us to feel like we can breathe. In the time of loss, there are many, many times since the kids have passed, even until now, that I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I'm not saying that because I have asthma. I'm saying that like my chest is so tight from all the emotions that I don't understand. And I can't think straight. And I honestly am in a fog. And when those times come, I have to take the time to stop and realize what's happening. I know that for women, sometimes it's easier to realize that we're in this fog and we have this weight around the kids' day or around certain anniversary days or whatever, and it might be a little harder for men. But I want you to know that any time that you feel in a fog or all of a sudden feel really angry and have a lot of emotions, to just feel them. Understand kind of where you're at. Take the time to feel them, and maybe by that time you'll realize why you are feeling all those. I, over the past 5 years since the video, have come to a realization that I should not blame myself. For a long time, I blamed myself. And I don't want you to blame yourself either. I don't know why this happened. I don't know why you had to go through this, but what I do know is it's not your fault. It's not my fault for the kids passing. It's not your fault. It is something that happened, but it's not your fault at all. And I want you to try to stop blaming yourself. There are a lot of things that you could have done differently. There are a lot of things I could have done differently, but I want you to know it's not your fault. Your hand in this and the best that you did was exactly what you did. You did your best, and you knew as much as you knew at that time, and that's okay. And that's something I've had to learn over the past few years, to realize I did everything I thought I could at that moment, and that is okay. If you at any point in time need someone to talk to, you are just not sure what to happen or what's going on, always feel free to reach to me. I've been asked a couple times lately in the past couple months how I've been so strong to do this, right? To do a video, to talk about my kids, like what makes me strong. And I gotta say, like, my strength doesn't come from inside. My strength comes from God. I rely heavily on God a lot, but I also rely on my friends and family to help me during hard times. I let them know where I'm at. I ask them to pray, and I also ask them to be with me. Whether they know what to do or not is different, but ultimately I surround myself with people that I know I can trust, and I surround myself with people that I know who will help me during any sort of comfort. Another thing that I've done to heal is, and it sounds so silly, but at one time it was to talk with my ex-husband. I needed to know that I wasn't alone in this, that all the feelings I had and was having at the time, that he also felt that way, so that I felt unalone. I wish that instead I could have reached out to another woman who had gone through something and felt that way. And now I know other women. and who have brought me comfort since that time. But at the time, that's what I needed. If you are with your spouse still after this, reach out to them, help them as well as making sure that they help you. So, men also feel a lot of the same feelings. Um, Men also have a hard time dealing with it, and they need to know that they're not alone either. So feel free to reach out to the man in your life to figure out where they're at and what their emotions are. And if they don't know, allow them time to figure that out. Um, I've been able to do a lot of different things in raising awareness, or at least small things, I guess, not a lot, but some small things. And one of the other healing parts that have helped is going to those walks. Going to Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep walks, going down to the Star Legacy walks. It helps to hear someone else say your baby's name, to release a butterfly in their honor, and to walk with your family and your friends during the time and just know that this is an honoring of your baby. Especially if you weren't able to do some sort of funeral or have some sort of space for them. This is one of those times that just allows you a lot of healing and just brings me comfort for sure. Um, I'm sure that there's a lot out there of other ways that have brought you comfort. And if so, I ask that you bring it in the comments so other people um, can have those as well. Um, I'm so grateful for you to listen to me. I'm so grateful for you to have the opportunity to help during this time. Just know that my videos are here for you. Um, and so if there's anything specific you'd like me to talk about, something that maybe I've talked about in the past but need to elaborate, feel free to reach out. I'm always here as a resource, and something that I can give is something that I'm really excited about. So thanks again. Please make sure that you subscribe and comment below if there's more that you want to hear. Thanks, and have a wonderful day.